Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Agents of s.h.i.e.l.d. Season 6, Episode 2, Window of Opportunity. The premiere of the season was brilliant. I'm so happy this show's back. One of my favourite shows is back. I'm so happy Daisy is back. Let's go. Sarge. I love Clark Craig, but I'm still very sad about Coulson. Don't be silly, they'll kill you. You left your drink behind. Are they going to use that to trace his DNA to check if it matches up with Coulson's? And then it's like, all nefarious group, and their first thing was to rob a shop to get some food and supplies. Probably some nefarious supplies too, though. Okay, I was hoping when they were driving a giant truck it was going to be slightly easier to spot. But if they can just move it wherever they feel like, they're going to be hard to find. Oh, Nathan from Haven survived. Good, but I'm sad about Fox.
If you say you saw Coulson, you saw him. But this doesn't go wide until we know what the hell he is.
I'm glad Matt believes me, because you could see someone else being like, it's grief.
We're out of PEGs.
What? Not PEGs.
We had more.
I don't feel like this is the sort of team where you can express dissent.
Tinker died, he was a friend.
That's what friends are for.
To die? Wonderful.
I love that I traded tenure for a chance to never leave this room.
Yeah.
But I would need to talk to the idiot who designed them.
Not possible.
That might be hard.
He's working as a mechanic on a ship. Is that eye thing like a disguise so you can't see that he's got like Terran eyes? He's got alien eyes or something. Oh, lovely. Yeah, he's disguising his eyes to look like their eyes. Hello. This plan has gone really, really well. I suppose I didn't have many options though, so... I love Enoch.
You'd be hard pressed to find someone that knows more about snail farming.
You're still a filthy and liar. Private Naratsia. I'll consider not kicking.
Is that the planet that Simmons thinks they're all off to?
Be kicked back before it's reduced to ash.
Sounds like powering down.
Let's not reduce it to ash.
Right?
At least they don't always kill when they don't have to.
I think he'll be going to someone else for comfort.
So Mac knows. Is it just me that if you have a favourite character in one show and then the actor appears in another show, you get some of those feelings transferred? Because I already love Keller, and I'm very scared he's going to die.
Just going through it.
I mean, I don't love him as much as I love my favourites on this show, but you know what I mean.
I'm sorry.
It was me 10 years ago.
That's giving yourself a lot of credit.
Former boss had died and come back to life before.
That's not what this is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
This LMD theory
Well,
is not panning out.
I mean,
LMDs don't have DNA.
it's not the same.
This is a sample from the convenience store.
Yep, that's what I said they'd do. That's why you don't leave your drinks lying around,
I
Coulson.
thought it was alien
Sarge.
radiation mark for Philip J. Coulson.
But it's not Coulson. The little part of me that's still in denial is hoping that somehow deep down it is Coulson and we'll get him back, but realistically I don't think that's going to happen. Are we going to get to see Daisy this episode, and Simmons and Piper and Davis?
Might not be a bad idea to start looking for replacements.
Delightful.
Scythians are notoriously xenophobic.
Are they really? Well, that would have been a nice detail to include when you taught me the language.
To prevent an extinction level event.
I just want to find Gemma. Okay, hey, we're done. We're done.
And preventing an extinction level event is also a good thing to do as well. It's finding your girlfriend. They're still girlfriends as far as he's concerned.
It's wasteful for me to pay employees when I have two harder working slaves. So I thought, why not let the dead weight go?
May's pain is running around killing people.
People fantasize about doing something heroic in times like these.
This is his line.
I'd save your own.
The killing them was not necessary.
I would never be able to look Gemma in the eye again, so...
And that's all that matters.
We risk conflict.
Listen. Dana, Snow is dying to spill your...
Somewhere they've already been.
Back to the shipping yard. Is it just May? Just May is not a good idea. Normally I would say it's fine, but when it's on with Coulson's face, it's not a good idea.
Do you need me?
I'm just very brave. See, now Enoch can fight back because his mission is to protect Fitz. But Enoch doesn't interfere unless it interferes with his big plan.
It doesn't have to end like this.
Just say, like, I sabotaged something somewhere on the ship.
To make a point.
So if you want to survive the landing. That was a good plan. Hopefully they don't lose their races now.
You were right in preparing for the most violent outcome.
That's the framework
So hard to
Fitz.
predict.
I mean,
Part of me that knows how uncompromising hateful men can be.
it's kind of like, I agree that, like, I think it's one of those grey areas where that guy was willing to kill those people. I don't think they could have stopped him any other way. But Fitz, since the framework, jumps to that option very quickly. Which isn't the Fitz we used to know and love. I still love him, but... May, by yourself! This isn't smart. It's just because I know it's Coulson. Also, S.h.i.e.l.D. S.h.i.e.L.D. wouldn't have caught one of theirs. Oh, she's gonna escape, that sucks. I was hoping we were gonna at least catch one. He's got his PEGs. What are they up to? The minute she sees Coulson, the fight's gonna go out there. Or at least she won't have to hurt him. Or kill him. Yes, May. And then there's Coulson. But it's not Coulson. May, don't get distracted, it's not Coulson. At least they didn't keep her or try and take her prisoner or something. May, that wasn't Coulson. I mean, is it somehow going to be Coulson? It's pretty Coulson from another universe, isn't it?
What happened?
Communication. If you took a whole team, you might not have lost. If it hadn't been Coulson, you wouldn't have lost. But with a whole team, someone else might have whacked him on the head.
But it rings a bell.
Was he Coulson in his original life? Wherever he's from?
Wherever these people came from, I think they destroyed it.
Not just that place. They literally just came from at every place they've ever been, by the looks of it. Are we gonna get Daisy and Simmons after the... No. At least Fitz is going to the place Simmons decided he was going to.
Approaching Noro Atsia.
I'm guessing after Fitz got out of the cryo tube they read the thing, or Enoch had previously read the tube, or just knew that's where you put people in cryo freeze. But the theory that Fitz was looking at it made no sense.
It will be challenging to conceal that we have murdered the controller. The crew could escape by submerging ourselves in the Zendaya.
If the crew are going to get killed anyway, I suppose to give them a chance, but...
The other crew members...
Firstly, no. But more importantly, we did this to keep them alive, so where do we take them?
They
Thank
could
you.
easily find
Going
what
away
about
from
your plan
Simmons.
To go back into
And then we're gonna literally see that ship fly off and then our ship fly in. Seriously. Seriously. That close together. Daisy, I've missed you so much, there aren't words.
What did you just do?
What did Simmons just do?
He's here.
But he doesn't know you're married. You have to do that again. Maybe legally this time. Well, you know, it's always fun when your favourite character hardly features, but no, that was a really good episode. I'm loving Sarge. I mean, he's very evil, and his whole team are very evil, but I'm so intrigued by what their mission is, and, you know, we're going to stop them. But I think the fact that it's someone with Coulson's face, and clearly with, I guess, he's going to be, because like, he doesn't talk about his past, so somewhere in this Sarge's life, he was Phil J. Coulson, maybe of a different Earth, different timeline. I'd love it if it turned out that he was somehow our Coulson, and when he died, he got taken to this universe, and then he's lost his memories, but realistically, that's not going to be the case. They're going to be from some sort of alternate universe or something like that, because the multiverse is coming into the MCU world, and, I mean, with the whole timeline thingy-majig, with Deke existing and he still won't exist, S.h.i.e.L.D. had already been sort of doing multiverse theories, so I think that makes sense, but I guess he's already been going around like massacring planet after planet after planet. There's probably not much hope for him, but I'm very intrigued by it. I mean, we're guessing they're from alternate universes. That could be that they're from alternate, just different parts of the galaxy, but I think multiverse makes more sense here. The team is very interesting with the crazy girl with like becoming a butterfly and like they've got a very different dynamic to I think we've seen on this show before, and I'm intrigued by it. I get why May went by herself to go and try and figure out what was going on, to try and see him, because it was Coulson and she wanted to get the information herself. But if she'd just taken like 2 or 3 guys with her, maybe they would have been able to capture someone, capture Coulson, Sarge, but you know, whose make it was Coulson. Now obviously if it hadn't been Coulson stood there, I still fully believe May could have fought her way off the Ross and taken any prisoners she wanted to, but she knew she was going to see Coulson, and I get why she didn't tell anyone, but I also wish she had. But that was all a very interesting dynamic, and the fact that like they're weird, they don't kill people unless like you don't have to kill everyone, but they're quite happy to kill people. Like those guards at the jewelry store didn't need to die, but they just killed them. So they've got a weird dynamic where they don't kill everyone they see, but they also don't care about killing people. So I'm intrigued to see what their greater mission is going forwards. And then we've got the dynamic of s.h.i.e.L.D. itself is very different to the s.h.i.e.L.D. we knew last season. It's still the same as the s.h.i.e.L.D. we knew. It's not that different from how it was run under Coulson, because the ideals are the same, the morals are the same, the respect that everyone has for each other is the same. But obviously it's Mac's s.h.i.e.L.D. and I think it's good because you can kind of see bits of Mac's leadership being different from Coulson's, but still on the same, they've got the same morals, the same belief system. I'm intrigued by all the new agents. I was kind of we lost Fox quite early on, which is very sad, and I'm loving Keller because he was my favourite. But I also really like Keller as a character. I mean, he's yet to do something. I mean, with this show, he could do something later that makes me hate him. Also with this show, if you're a character that was introduced like after all the others, you will be the first to die. Take Trip, take Lincoln. You know, they made such a song and dance over who was going to die in season 3, and then it was Lincoln, who the majority of people, not me included, thought, oh, if it had to be him, I'm glad it was him, whereas he was one of the people that I didn't want to die. But, you know, kind of, this show so far, other than with Coulson, and sort of Fitz, because that Fitz died, but we've still got Fitz, so it's fine. Coulson is the only person that they have followed through with and killed that was like a main character. But I feel like if they're making us like newer characters, they're probably going to die. Yeah, and I'd like it. I mean, given that they talked about wanting to tell Mac, I know there's a hell of a lot going on, but I still think it would be good if Keller and Yo-Yo could go and talk to Mac and just say that they're a thing, so that it's all out in the open, because that's what they wanted to do, or Keller said he wanted to do, and I think that is what Yo-Yo wants to do, but also it's a hard thing to do. And I'm still not entirely convinced that the show isn't going to revisit Yo-Yo and Mac at some point, which again makes me think Keller will die. Just because we as the viewers didn't, I mean, we saw the cause of their breakup. We essentially saw them breaking up. I would completely think it was logical that if they never actually had a breakup conversation, they just broke up in the events that we saw. That makes total sense, because for me, I feel like that's pretty much something they can ever get over, but it's a TV show. So I'm intrigued as to whether or not that's going to be a plotline they go down, or if they're just going to have them being separate and being okay with that. And May, I love her so much, and I'm so sad that she's having to go through this with Coulson. And she's not even got kind of Daisy and other people to lean on. You know, she's got people to lean on, but I feel like Daisy would probably be the person who Mrs. Coulson closest to as much as May did, or as much as May does, but in a different way to the way May misses him. And I feel like she might be the one that would understand some of what May's going to. Obviously, Daisy's just going to get back to find out what Coulson's like. We've got a hell of a lot else going on, and kind of being in the thick of things. Then we've got Fitz and Enoch, and obviously people were wondering if Fitz was taking drugs, and he was just covering up his eyes so that he could fit in with the crew, and then he did a really bad job of fitting in with the crew. I mean, he did a fairly good job. He lasted quite a while, and they were going to the place that Simmons thought they were going to, not because Fitz read the label on his pod while asleep, but just because Enoch knows that that's where you go to be put into cryosleep, where they sell cryo chambers and things, and it's a very scary place by the sounds of it. So I'm really glad that Daisy and Simmons and Davis and Piper have all gone to this scary planet, but they haven't killed their captain and committed mutiny, so hopefully they'll be okay, or at least relatively okay. I like that Fitz chose to try and save the crew, even though they'd been quite horrible to him, even if they turned him over to what they were good at. You know, I'm glad that Fitz did the right thing. I'm not 100% a fan of him saying the only reason he was trying to do the right thing was so he could look Gemma in the eye. Now, obviously that's a part of being good, that's part of making the right choice, but does that mean that if Gemma sent him a message saying, I don't care how many people you kill along the way to get back to me, just get back to me, Fitz would massacre everyone? I don't think so, but that's why I wasn't a huge fan of them reiterating that as being his motivation. That can be a lot of his motivation, but also just he wants to do the right thing. The Fitz we know and love believes in doing the right thing. I know he's been through a hell of a lot, and I think Fitz needs a hell of a lot of counselling. Like, after everything he went through, he's on the brink of another psychic break, you know, psychotic break. He needs counselling, therapy, a lot, but he's not going to get that on this show, is he? And then you've got Simmons, who doesn't care if she betrays her friends to try and get back to Fitz. But again, I get that they're in very desperate headspaces. I'm not being particularly judgy of their characters. I just wasn't a fan of that writing choice with Fitz. I think that'd be a big part of him wanting to do the right thing, but if that's the only reason you do make the right choice, do the good choices, is so that the people you love can look at you, then that's not enough. You know, you need to be, because it's the right thing, and I know it's what Gemma would want me to do, or, you know, because I'm desperate to get to Gemma, but she wouldn't want me to do that at the cost of risking all these lives, so therefore the right, there are other ways of phrasing it than the way they phrased it, if that makes sense. And I read an article or a quote from someone saying that Fitzsimmons' path isn't going to be smooth this season, and it's kind of, I love Fitzsimmons' relationship, but I'd be looking forward to a plotline where their primary motivations and goals within a plotline weren't their relationship. You know, if we could get back to a time when Fitzsimmons were a duo. I mean, I want them to just be a happy relationship with that not being an issue. And their primary concerns was the plot rather than kind of their relationship, if that makes sense. I kind of find it a little bit frustrating when all they ever care about primarily is each other. Because obviously they can care about each other most, but if you know, I don't think I'm articulating this very well, but within the span of the plot and the show, if they could be kind of wanting to save the world because it's the right thing to do rather than just because, oh, my girlfriend lives here. But I mean, I don't hate it, I just think it's kind of in every season for a while now that that's all they've really cared about is each other. And they've not cared about much else, whereas of course they care about it, but just the way they write it comes across as though, I'm not explaining this very well, but I hope you get what I mean. And I still love Enoch. I mean, he's very much, you know, he wouldn't have stepped in to, the only reason they step in is if it's an apocalyptic level event, so obviously he knows that Fitz is part of what saves the world, etc. They just don't realise it's already happened. But I wonder if, what if they come up with some kind of theory that, because it's alternate timelines and things that they've created, Fitz still needs to go back into sleep so that there is a Fitz to wake up and create their timeline. Maybe they're going to have to send Fitz back. That would suck. I don't think they're going to do that because I don't think they'd ever actually break up Fitzsimmons. But, whoa. But yeah, this was a really, really good episode. I love seeing more of Sarge and his team. I liked that was the focus. It was good to check in with Fitz and see what he was up to, even if it did mean we sacrificed a lot of Daisy and Simmons and Davis, but I suppose they kind of flip-flopped the screen time that the Fitz plotline got the same screen time as the other ship, kind of flip-flopped. I'm not a huge fan of the kind of classic thing that happens in every show ever when two people are looking for each other and they just miss each other. You know, Simmons and co should have turned up 2 hours later, or their ship should have been around the other side of the planet and Fitz hadn't seen it, rather than kind of just as they go outside, they come into sight. That's so overdone. But hopefully they're going to find each other in the next episode or the one after it. And we've not got that many episodes this season, and I'd quite like to get that core of our show, you know, half of the core of our show back to be with the rest of them. I am enjoying all the space stuff though, so I'm kind of mixed up on that. Like, I'm enjoying all the space antics, but I want to get our team back to Earth to all be together and to deal with this whole thing with whatever Sarge is up to. And yeah, so that was a fantastic episode. I can't wait for next week. Thank you for watching.